Hey everybody, welcome aboard. Got a fun film for you tonight. The Man Who Knew Too Much, 1934. You might know its remake, 1956, with Jimmy Stewart and Doris Day, Que Sera, Sera, and all that stuff. This is Alfred Hitchcock, and it's one of those rarities. Now, it's not an unknown thing, but a director to remake his own film. And there's a debate, as a matter of fact, out there in Hitch aficionado world, people debating over which of these two films are superior, the British or the American. Matter of fact, there's a debate that rages amongst many people who are fighting over what is the superior Hitch, the British phase or the American phase. I don't want to get into that too much. I think both of them are very good. Matter of fact, this one here is able to get done in a very economical way what he took much longer to do in a, well, over 2-hour version with the Jimmy Stewart version in full Technicolor. But this one here has basically the same story. Set of parents who have a small child who somehow get involved with espionage. Now, we know that that happens frequently in Hitchcock films. And it is something that is very much a staple of that thriller business. You know, sort of the complacent family out on some vacation is brought into the mystery of the world of spies and killers and secret messages and underground societies. Well, this one also has the same, well, very famous Albert Hall sequence that you know from the remake. Both are very well executed, as is the want of and the skill that Hitchcock, even at this early stage in 34, had in his toolbox, if you will. Now, it's interesting. You hear Hitchcock talk about it himself, about the two versions. He says, for instance, that this one is a very good work from an amateur, and that the remake is a very good example of a professional at work. We'll let Hitchcock have his own opinion on this. It's for us to make our own opinion. Leslie Banks, Edna Best appear in this film. Likewise, Peter Lorre, just a few years after M, plays one of his great sinister roles in this version. Now, just a little note, thinking about directors who have remade their own films. Why don't you think about that yourself? How many directors do you know out there who have basically made a film at some time period and then remade it over again into a different version? There are a few that jump to mind myself. Howard Hawks, Ball of Fire and A Song Is Born. There's a remake, one taking a version and turning it into a musical. Likewise, we know that he went through that series of Rio Bravo, El Dorado, and Rio Lobo. Okay, all of those films are basically remakes of each other. Can you think of any other directors? Well, Ten Commandments, perhaps DeMille, doing the silent version and then doing the later epic where Charlton Heston is Moses. Great Moses role. Hitchcock, of course, here. You think of any others? Men who remade their own films. That'd be an interesting title. Instead of The Man Who Knew Too Much, The Man Who Remade His Own Movies. Well, Hitchcock is a master in the silent period, in the British period, and the American period. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this film. The Man Who Knew Too Much. Roll 'em, Smokey.